Hi, I've been wanting to do a video about Lacey Chabert for a while, but I didn't know when the right time would be, so I figured I'd just do it now. Um, I have a video about Jennifer Love Hewitt coming up on the 21st because the 21st is her birthday, but I'm going to do the Lacey Chabert one right now because just to get out of the way. Okay, I'm going to talk about other people, including her, but you'll understand why in a second. Alright. For context, I started watching Lacey Chabert things when I was probably right before a teenager, so 11, 12. And I remember she was in a Party of Five as the youngest sister, Claudia Salinger, because it was about the Salinger family and they lost their parents due to a drunk driver, and so it was Party of five kids raising themselves. And it was a launching pad for a bunch of people as stars. Like that was their beginning, and then they went on to movies and other TV shows and things. Okay, Matthew Fox of Lost fame played Charlie Salinger, the oldest boy. Then Scott Wolf married to Kelly Limp, that's her name, of Real World New Orleans fame. And now they have at least 4 or 5 kids themselves. But also he played I'd say bit parts in movies, and sometimes he would be the lead, but he was always like the good guy in the movie. So alright. And then there was Neve Campbell as Julia, the oldest girl, and then there was Claudia, the youngest girl, but then there were twin boys, I think, or like the youngest boy was Owen and something. Alright, so that makes Party of Five. Okay, so in the beginning, if you haven't watched Party of Five, I'll break it down to you a little bit. I gave you a synopsis a little bit, but okay. So you start out with this family who you think is just gonna be like cookie cutter, good family, whatever. Okay. It isn't until you start getting deeper into it that you realize that they have problems like everybody else. And the problems that they have make it worse because they're fending for themselves. So, like Bailey, Scott Wolf had a drinking problem, but it didn't come out until years later. And Charlie had some kind of anger issues or whatever because he felt the pressure to raise all these kids. Julia was running rampant because she didn't have a mother figure. So, I don't know. They tried to play her as like a good girl, but like a vixen. It was strange. Okay, and then the reason why I'm getting to it, the reason why Jennifer Love Hewitt is connected to that is because she played Sarah somebody. I forget her last name in this one, but it was she was Bailey's girlfriend, and she was the one that he really loved. But the problem is that they were too young when they met, so it fell apart. And by the time they were trying to get it back together, he had fallen in love with somebody else by then. So anyway, that's how Lacey Chabert and Jennifer Love Hewitt are connected on this one. Okay. Back to Lacey Chabert. The reason why I liked her was because she was the youngest girl and she was really smart, and they played a smart character, and they made it a good thing she was smart, and she could play the violin like no one's business. And so she was the observer like most young children are. So she observed and she kind of said, okay, in her own head, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And you learn what not to do from your siblings. So, and then by the time they were done with that one, she was 16, 17. Then it was a big to do because she did a magazine article, the cover, whatever, of Gear magazine, which back in the day it was a men's magazine, so it was considered a racy cover, but it wasn't that bad. But it was just because she was trying to shake up her image. I mean, some other people that have tried to shake up their image were nude on covers of things. So, but then she did go into, let's see, she started doing Hallmark movies and stuff like that, and Lifetime movies. Oh, and then she's been doing that for years, and she's like a Lifetime or Hallmark queen. They pick her for all the movies. She does all Christmas movies, everything. But my point is that with Lacey Chabert, she stayed true to who she is, and she's still working. So there's proof that you can be yourself and be a good person, kind of, you know what I mean, and still work. So, okay. The reason why she's tied to me, or the reason why I also like her, is because she did the Brooke Ellison story, which is a story of a girl who was paralyzed by accident, a quadriplegic, and it's based on a true story. There really is a Brooke Ellison, okay? So she's a quadriplegic, but she went on to school and she graduated college and she's really smart. She graduated like magna cum laude. Like the top is like below the top, the second level graduate. And she got a master's in like social work or something. Um, and she played, so Lacey Chabert played her in the movie. And of course, they kind of fixed up her life to where she had a relationship in the movie, that kind of thing. And, um, but anyway, and then also it's connected because Christopher Reeve, who used to be Superman, who played Superman, um, he was in a horse riding accident. He did a jumping competition, and his horse didn't jump when it was supposed to, so he ended up breaking a vertebrae, and then he ended up paralyzed from the neck or something down, and he had to have a chair and a breathing thing where he could breathe, and he used computer to speak and everything. And the reason why, okay, the reason why he's huge to me is because he died, but that's not the point. I'll get to that. Okay, the reason why he's important to me is because you take a man who's known as Superman, okay, like the greatest superhero in all of whatever, and he's paralyzed, and he could have let the disability take him over, but he didn't, and he used his voice and his platform to speak out for paralyzed people and to raise funds for research on spinal cord, to repair the spinal cord kind of thing. And he and his wife Dana Reeve were big supporters of that. And it just makes it's a big deal to me, because anybody who champions anything when they don't have to is huge. So, and plus I wanted to talk about him and other kind of disabilities, and not just mind, and spotlight charities and things, because I like doing that too, because I think that everybody should talk about whatever's important to them all throughout the year and not do it in a certain month or whatever. So that's why I do it. All right. That was my homage to Lacey Chabert and others. Thank you.